Hey everyone. So I really like making videos on this AI stuff. It's really interesting. And I know it's not where all these tech CEOs want it to be right now. So let's just like fast forward and think about, let's say it's at the point where they all want it to be, where it'll drive your car for you. You don't need to go to work because it'll do your job for you. That's where I think it is very, very interesting because right now we're in a lot of the like augmentation, where it's like, oh, it's going to augment your work for you. So, it's going to make it nicer and easier. Yeah, while simultaneously collecting your data and collecting all the data around your data to be able to completely replace you. Um, and then people go, oh, well, this is where I get a lot of the pushback. They go, oh, well, there's always going to be supply and demand and economy and blah, blah, blah. So what you're saying isn't true. And I disagree. And I disagree. I disagree. Because you will have less players, let's call it, less participants in the economy. You'll still have an economy, but it'll shrink in terms of participants by quantity, and I don't know how that would be measured. Maybe employment is how you would measure it, is what we got now. And employment is jacked the way we measure it. There's like 5 different versions of it. Go look it up. It's like U1 through 5. It's ridiculous. But point being, back on track, is that production, the people who have the means of production, who are implementing the AI, so that, oh, look, I have to compete against this other business of mine. They have AI. They have robotic workers. They have robotic everything powered by AI. I need to be competitive and do the same, or they're going to undercut my prices and out I go, and I'm going to lose business. And okay, yeah, let's say that's true. And you do this, and everybody implements it. Now, the people who are producing, who have the means of production, who have capital, can still, they'll still have money because they'll have something worth something to someone else. What what will happen is the participants who have to, the people who sell their labor for wages, will be removed from the economy. They will no longer be able to sell their labor for wages. You won't be able to. Nobody wants it because no one's going to want to pay you $10 when they can pay a robot nothing and it can do the same thing. Or, wow, what about me? I'm highly skilled. Eventually, you will either obtain the means of production of your own to be able to sell something unique, and you'll essentially be a producer, someone who has the means of production, and you will no longer be selling your labor for wages. You can always calculate that too, for yourself. Even if you're like a business owner, you can be like, oh, my business made $60,000 this year, but I worked like 120 every, I don't know, every week or something. I don't know, something insane. So my pay is nothing. You can always do that. Or I had employees and I pay them, and then what was left over, that's what my pay is. Whatever, however you want to cut it. A lot of ways to look at data and numbers and stuff. My point being though is that most people will be pushed out of the economy. Most participants who have to sell their labor for wages will be pushed out of the economy. And there will still be an economy, but it will shrink. It will shrink to the people who have the means of production, because they will be able to produce something that someone else who also has the means of production can't yet produce. And it might be because, hey, market share, I can't get into that market. I don't have the trade knowledge. I don't have the capital, many things, whatever. And it could be more than one thing, obviously. So, I don't know. I think that's really interesting. And where does that lead us? Some people say, whoa, then we'll have universal basic income. And the universal basic income will be supplied by the governments. Trust me, not all of them can do it and or will want to do it. And you'll get a lot of rhetoric, those lazy labor selling for wage people. How dare they? And it's just like, wait, we were all this at one point in time. But also, universal basic income outside of a political spectrum, I don't think it would work because it would be public knowledge, I believe. The way it would typically go is it would have to be public. And so if it's public for me, let's just say I produce, I have the means of production. I have a bunch of AI robots. You're doing it. You're making me millions of dollars. And then I find out that the government that I'm a part of, that like I'm a citizen of this government, they go, hey, we're coming out with universal basic income to help alleviate the pain for all the people who used to sell their time for money, sell your labor for wages. And I go, oh, awesome. I'm gonna get that money, and I'm gonna get it because I know how much you have. I know how much you're getting paid by the government, how much they're subsidizing you for. So my prices are going to reflect what they need to in order to get that piece of the pie, because they just add to the pie. Pie might be a little diluted if it, depending on how they do it, if it's just printing money or whatnot, but, and how long can that be sustained? That's a whole nother thing. So to me, I guess universal basic income doesn't really help, because everyone who has the means of production will also know how to get that out of you. They probably won't receive universal basic income because they'll be like out of the tax bracket or something. But yeah, I don't know. Like, that's kind of crazy. I don't know. It's crazy to me. Crazy to think about. My head hurts. It hurts for other reasons. I have a migraine, okay? I'm coming off of one from yesterday. That was terrible. Anyways, yeah, let me know your thoughts, because I think it's interesting, very, very interesting to talk about, like, at the critical point, I guess. I don't know what it's called. The preface, whatever the word is. The very top point where it's like, oh my goodness, like, that's when it's all coming together. Because right now, it's a lot of, what is that phrase? Like, oh, no, that'll never happen. Oh, dearest, I don't know, whatever that is. Where they're like, they just be like, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, it's a lot of cope. That's what it is. It's a lot of cope. Oh, that's not going to happen. Well, no, not in my lifetime. I'll be long dead. So will, like, 3-4 generations from now. Maybe. I don't know. Everything seems to grow on an exponential curve when it comes to technology. It's like bronze sword, iron sword 1,000 years later or whatever. And then it's just like computers and phones and the internet, and it just is like, whoop. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I like talking about it. So if you got an opinion of your own, or like thoughts or something about it, put it in the comments. I'd like to know. Like, if you're just a troll, that's fine too. I'll probably respond to you too. I usually do. I see fellow trolls like, oh, you're trolling. That's what I do. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes. But yeah, if you have legitimate questions too, that'd be good. Be good, because it helps me build a better perspective and a better, like, understanding of where other people understand it, and even just holes in my own thought process. So if you stayed to listen to all of this, I appreciate it. That's awesome. Thank you very much. And I don't know, if you want to say something, I'd love to hear from you too. So, all right. See you later. Bye.